If you haven't had an opportunity to watch the latest episode of The Walking Dead, stop listening now. Major spoilers. Here we go. Tonight's episode is called Four Walls and a Roof, and by far one of the saddest episodes of The Walking Dead, man. I think before I do that, before I talk about that subject and that topic, I'm just gonna give you guys an overview of what the episode is about, talk about some of my favorite scenes, and then we'll talk about the ending of one of the coolest characters, man, in The Walking Dead, man. Yeah, just still can't believe that. Alright, it says, Rick and the others find themselves pitted against a group of nasty people, but may have a plan to gain the upper hand. Finally, Rick has put an end to Gareth. Yes, the cannibals, the termites, Terminians, whatever you want to call these guys, the people from Terminus are dead. Gareth no longer walks inside of the world of The Walking Dead. He's dead, man. And it's one of the most violent scenes, one of the most gory scenes, one of the most gruesome scenes, one of the most sick, twisted, demented, nasty, crazy, insane, I guess you could say torture scenes and executions that we've seen on The Walking Dead. I've never seen Rick Grimes like this, man. It's hard to really describe it because he's not the same Rick. And I think tonight, as the group split in two, we have group one that is staying inside of the same, I guess you can say, area around Atlanta, and then another group that's going to DC. I think that it's justified, man. And I think that the only sane people that are left in the group that decided to leave tonight is Maggie and Glenn. They went with group two, which has Eugene, Abraham, and Rosita. And then Rick, Michonne, Sasha, Tyrese, Daryl, Carol, Beth, Carl, Judith, and maybe one other person is still there. And I think that they're all insane, man. The scene takes place, this execution of Gareth takes place inside of a church of all places, man. But let me back up just 2 seconds. Father Gabriel, man, we've always been wondering, okay, why did they have those things carved in on the side of the church? You know, you'll burn in hell for this. What did Father Gabriel do to, I guess, deserve such harsh words, to have his place of worship, his house of worship, the house of the Lord, vandalized in such a way? And why would someone put a message like that on the walls of the church? Now, we find this out after Rick, man, begins to interrogate Father Gabriel. You know, obviously Rick Grimes doesn't trust anybody. I'm with Rick Grimes. I don't trust anybody. He's just like, listen, I want to know what you did to those people. Why would they carve that on the side of the church? I want you to tell the truth because I think you're lying. And what's kind of crazy, man, is that Father Gabriel just started breaking down crying, man. He kept saying, I just locked the doors. I just locked the doors. All I did was lock the doors. And I guess that's what happened. As of right now, I kind of believe it. And the reason why I believe it is because Rick didn't push the issue anymore, you know, and with Rick's experience as a sheriff, you know, and being, you know, I guess you can say in charge of the law and having the shield and the badge and all that good stuff, he should know, you know, when someone's lying, when someone's telling the truth. And you know, knowing The Walking Dead, it kind of looked like the dude was telling some truth. And then towards the end of the episode, Father Gabriel actually locked the doors again to kind of maybe prove and drive that point home. So Father Gabriel locked the doors in the church as the congregation that he was feeding and, you know, giving communion to were knocking on the doors trying to get in at night. And when they were knocking, they were being ripped apart. You're talking about women, children, and families being torn to pieces, ripped to shreds by the walkers because Father Gabriel decided, I'm not going to open these doors. And he just kept all the canned goods for himself. It's pretty sick and twisted if you really think about that. Now, there were some markings on the tree inside of The Walking Dead Season 5, okay? I think we're on episode 3 tonight, maybe 4, but most likely 3. There were markings on these trees And we saw Morgan paying attention to them. There's still no word on Morgan. I don't know where he's at. He's probably still in the woods, kind of tracking Rick. We don't know. Or maybe he's even tracking, the termites from Terminus. We don't know yet. But we do know that Gareth and his group of cannibals, the hunters, they were utilizing a tracking system, okay? And the markings on the trees throughout the episodes, those are from Gareth and his gang of hunters. And how do you want to say it? The hunters in the comic books, those are the same hunters. The cannibals in the comic books, those are the same hunters. And the reason why they are, I guess, don't talk or call themselves or identify themselves or label themselves as cannibals and call themselves hunters is because that's what they're doing. They're hunting people that have good meat to eat. And when this good meat is selected, they mark their territory, and they mark them by just watching them at nighttime, and they mark their position and mark their location, positions, stuff like that. That's how they use those identifying markers, and that's how they grab their victims. Very scary, man, if you really think about that. That means people are watching them the whole entire time. What ends up happening, okay, how does Gareth get murdered by Rick and the rest of his gang get killed by Michonne and Tyrese and everybody? Not Tyrese, but Abraham Ford, excuse me. What ends up happening, they devise a plan to go rescue Daryl. And Daryl and Carol obviously are in another location. The reason why they think that Daryl and Carol are still there, or might be there, or possibly there, or just going out to get revenge for Bob is because Bob told them, what's going on. He told them everything. Bob pretty much spilled the beans, which is a good thing because Bob came there. He was injured. He told them that, Gareth, took his leg. Gareth is eating people, and then Gareth said he'll do this to anyone. Doesn't matter who it is, women, children, boys, girls, elderly women, doesn't matter. He'll kill anybody. Any single person, you name it, priest, bunny rabbit, Santa Claus, vampire, it doesn't matter who it is, he's killing them. Angry birds, he'll kill them too, okay? Anything fluffy, think of something fluffy, Barney, he'll kill them, he'll eat them, so no one's safe. So therefore, whenever Rick sets up this trap, what ends up happening is that they get the information from Bob. They decide to put on a plan to go rescue Daryl or just go find those guys, Gareth and them. They leave out the church. They know that they're being monitored now because Gareth, being so stupid, he thought, I guess, that Bob was going to, lay there and die. And Bob ends up escaping. He tells them everything about the markings, etc., etc. So you see Rick and the gang go out the church, and then the camera kind of pans to the right, and then you see Gareth and the gang start walking into the church. The people that are left in the church was Tyrese, Carl, Judith, Michonne, whatever that one girl is that was rescued by Glenn, that was on the governor's team, whatever her name is. She was in there. And what was kind of crazy is, like, Gareth, man, he gave this speech. He was like telling them everything. Like, I know who you are. I know who's in here. We're going to eat the baby. We're going to kill everybody. And then all of a sudden, man, behind them, Rick comes out there, blows the brains at a couple of people. And then that puts, Gareth in a situation where he's like, put your weapon. Rick says, put your weapons down and kneel. And then Gareth, he refuses. So Rick shoots his fingers off. I'm telling you, man, it's really violent. Shoots his fingers off. Finally, Gareth and the gang surrender. And then Rick has him on the floor on his knees inside of a church. And then he says, I made you a promise. And the promise is that I was going to kill you with a red-handed machete. And he chops his head, man. And he chops him in the side of his neck, almost chops his head off. And then he just continues to hack away. Whack, 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 whack. And then Gareth's dead, man. I'm not going to talk about what happened to a character on the show. I'm going to go to part 2, and then we'll spend a lot of time on that. But that's pretty much what happened, man. Gareth's dead. The group is split into 2. One group's going to DC. The other group's staying here to talk to Daryl and Carol and Beth. Daryl, at the end of the episode, came back, and now they're rejoined with Rick. And the only people that are left are Rick, Michonne, Tyrese, Sasha, Daryl, Carol, and Beth. Those are in one group. Rosita, Abraham, Eugene, Maggie, and Glenn are in another group. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you want to go to part 2, just look in the description box or just look at my videos on my channel. Thanks again for watching, guys. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. And yeah, right here.